There was a big variety of JRPGs in 2018. From retro-inspired games set on making old ideas even better, to great modern narratives set in worlds full of futuristic tech, there's something to satisfy most players when looking at all the JRPG releases from this year as a whole. I managed to finish a fair few JRPGs this year, and there were a lot of enjoyable ones, but the JRPGs that were my favorite this year with a special gem scattered throughout that brought something unique to the genre. So as we look back on another year of JRPG fun, these are my 5 favorite JRPGs from this year. I'd been hoping for an excuse to come back to Pokemon again at some point, and I'm glad that Pokemon Let's Go was the game that got me back to it, with its visual update making it easy to fall in love with the world of Pokemon all over again. Taking mechanics from Pokemon Go, in a pleasant surprise, those mechanics worked well in making Let's Go a smooth experience, but seeing Pokemon on the field making it easy to run around without all those random battles popping up, but also still with plenty of trainer battles in between to capture the essence of both training and caring for your Pokemon in a quest to become a Pokemon master. It's really impressive how it balances the capturing focus from Pokemon Go with the gameplay parts and maps it brings in from Pokemon Yellow, and I felt a bunch of nostalgia going through the gyms and caves I played through as a kid, but this time with a more modern feel that make it feel right up there with modern JRPGs. While it technically wasn't my highest rated monster collecting game this year if you look at my reviews, it's the one I felt the most excited about this year as it managed to give me the joy of playing a fun new monster collecting JRPG with the nostalgia from an old one I love. I'm still bringing my Pokeball Plus with me on the go with intent to go back to it, and together with the way it was updated, I think a great job was done capturing the magic of the gotta catch 'em all feel of Pokemon, and I truly hope the way they managed to make old Pokemon feel smooth as a modern JRPG will be carried into future Pokemon games as well. The Yakuza series was one I didn't know would be for me. It's different from the usual colorful JRPGs I tend to be drawn to that put me off playing the series for a long time, but when I finally tried it towards the beginning of the year, it quickly became a must-have for me thanks to how it surprised me with its really deep story. With story and a big world, there are so many things to love about Yakuza 6. The activity-filled city of Kamurocho is the perfect backdrop to the story, and can have you doing things from playing old arcade games to seeing a guy have a fight with his girlfriend that leads you to watching cam girls, and the game really lets you do an insane variety of things while getting to know Kiryu more. Then there's the great main story that's cast of twisted villains that are also very human, making all the conflicts of Yakuza 6 very compelling, topped off with Kiryu having multiple layers to his personality as well. While Yakuza 6 was my first Yakuza game, even though it's the last in the series, the game stands more than well enough on its own, and its 20-hour journey felt like it never lost heat, with its thrilling story that has stayed with me enough to make me want to play the series from start to finish, hopefully sooner rather than later. I'm usually the kind of person to pick a modern style game over an old one, so when Octopath Traveler captivated me so much with its retro-inspired world with a modern polish, I was pretty surprised, and it's one of the most unique things I played all year. What makes Octopath Traveler so great is how much control it gives you of how you want to play through its many choices. You can choose which character you want to start with, which classes they'll use, if you'll steal items or gain them the honest way, and what character mechanics will help you most as you build your party. And with so many little choices to make in your journey, it makes each player's time in Octopath Traveler unique. Its beautiful retro visuals with modern touches and the unique ideas in its gameplay make Octopath Traveler like nothing else I've played. And with 8 character stories to witness, there's a fair amount of content to make the experience worthwhile. It's a great fit for playing on the go with everything you can do over its many hours and the way its chapters are divided. And for the fun I had with its many systems on the go, it was definitely one of this year's most enjoyable portable experiences. Speaking of great Switch releases, I never expected Torna the Golden Country to wow me as much as it did. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was one of my top picks for last year thanks to it being a big story with its mostly likable cast, alongside addictive character development systems and ways to get to know its blades, and somehow this DLC and standalone release brought everything Xenoblade Chronicles 2 did so well and made it the very best it could possibly be by polishing the minor flaws from the original and adding even more fun things to do. The active battle battle system was cleaned up, characters I didn't know or wasn't overly fond of were given much more background and made more endearing, and the systems in it, such as its quest-filled community mechanic that heightened its ending, made doing its enjoyable side activities feel full of purpose, and gave me that same feeling of wanting to come back to it to tie up as many loose ends as possible. While a lot of people could argue that Torn of the Golden Country is just DLC, something I really like about it is that it can be bought as a standalone game or as DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and the experience felt as complete as a full game should, complete with a big story and replayability like I'd expect. At 20 hours long for its core story and as a prequel to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it's a fantastic jumping in point for anyone looking for an introduction to the original, and also a great way to continue for those looking for more to do. And the 20 hours I spent in it flew by as both a fun and emotional journey that captured how great Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is in its story moments that add meaning to the original while being a fantastic story on its own. When I saw Dragon Quest XI was coming out and how much more modern it looked compared to the series' previous games, I was determined to make it my first Dragon Quest game. I wanted to learn why this series was so special to so many JRPG fans, and how this series with seemingly retro ideas would fit into a world of modern-looking games that are always trying to go further and further with what can be done in each console generation. I'm pleased to say that I found my answer in Dragon Quest XI, and it mostly seems to come down to one thing. It's a solid JRPG set in a very charming world. There are lots of things in it that aren't necessarily new, but rather JRPG systems done very well, such as its turn-based battle system and the towns full of shops to aid you in your journey like you'd expect. But it's those little details in between that make the world so appealing. Its towns are full of NPCs that have clearly all been lovingly designed to have some sort of personality, and the special attacks in battle with flashy visuals show off the charm of its likable cast in this simple but good system. The cast story journey could be considered very typical of JRPGs as it focuses on a fight between light and darkness, but the way its arcs make this into an epic journey that had me constantly wondering what would happen next make it feel anything but. From addictive systems that work well to the cool Akira Toriyama drawn monsters you can fight and ride in a lovingly designed world, there is so much to like in Dragon Quest XI, and it's pretty much a must-play from this year's lineup of games thanks to all the things that make it special. And these things work together to make it the game I'll look back on most fondly as my JRPG of this year. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below what your 5 favorite JRPGs from this year were, and what you think of my list. You can like and share this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel for more JRPG content like this, and ring that bell to get notifications on whenever I post so you don't miss a thing. You can check out more videos here, or you can check out the blog at jrpgjungle.com, and you can find me on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at jrpgjungle. Links to those will be in the description below, along with links to everything I mentioned in this video. And since this may possibly be my last video this year, I hope you're all having a good holiday season and have a happy new year, and until next time, thank you, bye!